Hello, everybody, and welcome to WeAwake. This is Louis Santos. I am WeAwake Technologies Business Development Director. So most of the time, I work behind the screen or behind the scenes most of the time. Um, and for some of you who are old, longtime WeAwake customers, you may actually feel my presence a little bit through the WeAwake newsletters because I'm like the person or the main person behind the IO8 newsletters, except for like the messages that we are all getting from John every time we're sending that. But I collect or curate all of the content that's going through that every 2 months that we send it. And if you've taken the Vision Quest Challenge in June, I know some of you are watching this session right now. You may also know me as the session moderator. So anyway, welcome everybody. And this is the last WeAwake session where we'll have guest hosts. So some of you may have noticed or probably curious as to why you've been seeing different faces since the last 4 weeks. We've had Dr. we've had Jonathan Robinson. We've had Dr. Bob Weathers, and last week we had Nadia Lin. So John is currently on vacation, and this is the last session where there's going to be a guest host of this session, and he'll be back next week. So when I first accepted the gig to host WeAwake, I said yes immediately because we're all looking for somebody who can cover for John's absence. Um, and I was like, all right, okay, I'll do it. I'm an iAwake user. I mean, even I'm an iAwake employee, but I'm also an iAwake user. But over the last few days, I've been having doubts, and I told Pam and John about this, and my question is, why did I accept this? So it led me to like days of actually just having or being freaked out by the whole like speaking to all of you because I haven't done this before. I've just been moderating. I've just been working behind the scenes most of the time, and also there's a little bit of voice in my head that's saying that I don't have the same gravitas or experience that Jonathan, Dr. Bob, and Nadia have. Those people are teachers. They're teachers. Jonathan, Bob, and Nadia. They've been sharing all of their wisdom to us through their work, through the IOA tracks that we've all listened to at some point. Maybe you own them, or maybe you've listened to them through the WeAwake sessions. And here I am. I don't have anything really, but I think what I can actually talk about is just coming more from a user point of view, as an iAwake user. And I think that I have certain stories to tell because it has been an incredible journey for me over the last 7 years of being here at WeAwake Technologies. So anyway, I hope that this provides some inspiration or maybe a call to action, or I don't know. I hope it does something today for all of you today. Um, so about or exactly 7 years ago today, I met somebody on Skype. Back then, I was working two jobs. I worked from home. I was already working about, I don't know, maybe 12 to 14 hours a day between these two jobs. And I was in this marketplace called Odesk back then. Now it's called Upwork. And someone was looking for, I guess, a troubleshooter, somebody who can fix or help with the software that they're using. And I met this person. Her name is Spam Dupuy. And in the background as well, I also met John Dupuy. And they were very, gracious enough to tell me about what the job was about, what their needs are. And they told me a little bit about what their company is about. And I had no idea. I had no idea about all the things that they said. All I heard were jargons about meditation, about brainwave entrainment, binaural beats, and all of those things about spirituality because I just don't know anything. My best friend has been meditating for most of her life, has been talking to me about this in passing whenever we have coffee, whenever we have heart-to-heart talks, or just conversations over the phone, and she was talking to me about how to meditate. But I was just basically rolling my eyes about about the about the whole practice. I found the idea kind of ridiculous about just being left alone by yourself and, like, I don't know, processing these thoughts. Um, so anyway, that was kind of like my story about me being, I guess, not really an anti-meditation, but more of like somebody who's kind of was very ignorant about it. Um, and I'm coming from like a more, I was coming from like a modern, modernist kind of world where, you know, it's everything is about results, results, results. I've worked in corporate for so many years, um, and it's all about the results and all about creating things. And there's really no time to for contemplation or introspection. So anyway, the I accepted the job. The job was mine. It was like a very part-time job. I was working for like maybe an hour or two a week for WeAwake Technologies back then. That was back in 2013. Um, I was like, okay, these are kind of cool. You know, I mean, some of the things that they have on their website or the audio tracks or the artwork kind of is like very weird for me. But and I was trying to learn because I know it's also important that if you're going to be working on something, that you have to have knowledge about using the products that your company is selling. Um, and I was failing. I was listening to it, and it was just all about all rain sounds, all anyway. It's like very weird music back then for me, and I I feel like I was failing at my job. Not because I'm not doing good at the job that I'm doing, but I'm failing because I don't really have an understanding um, of what these products are all about. They keep on saying, "Oh yeah, these music or the technology behind these tracks that I was listening to have transformed me." And I was like, I mean, I don't know, I haven't felt those. Um, but then something shifted or something changed. Um, for like the next 6 months, I didn't feel anything. But in December of 2013, we were preparing for the launch of, for the release of Heartwave Meditation. And I think that was the very first product launch that I was very much involved with, where I read all about the content, the beta testing process of all of it, and just like seeing all the feedback from all of our customers, all of you who are saying all the benefits of it. And I was just so engrossed about the science or the technology of how Eric Thompson, the creator of Heartwave Meditation, was talking about, where it's all, you know, we basically use brainwave entrainment to, you know, help our brain to reach certain states of consciousness, right? But he was talking about like how the heart is the center of our whole body system, and I was just so engrossed with that particular information that I've read about it. And you know, I listened to it. I still didn't feel the effects. I was like, oh, these are just music. I mean, these are beautiful sounds. Um, but then I tried to research something about how to meditate, and I tried to look for. And back then, iAwake doesn't offer any guided meditations. We still offer I mean, just a few. But back then, we didn't really have any guided meditations. It's all about whatever practice that you're doing and listen to the iAwake tracks. Um, but I searched online, see how to meditate, and I found these like free guided meditations back then that are available in soundstrue.com. And I downloaded them, I listened to them and see what, you know, what could possibly happen. And so these meditations were voiced and led by Tammy Simon, the founder of Sounds True. And for some of you who uh, probably listen to Tammy Simon talk, you know that there's a certain thing with her voice that's just very welcoming and just invites you to the experience and just be, anyway, just to feel it basically. And it was a very simple, very guided, I mean, very basic guided meditation. And I got it. For some reason, the formula of how to practice came to me. And after that experience, immediately after listening to heart wave meditation, I mean, to the guided meditation from Sounds True, I immediately played um, heart wave. And after that, there was a significant change in experience. And some might call it like a mystical kind of experience or just a certain reaction in my body that I've never experienced before. And I was scared. Again, coming from like a modernist stage of development, um, that these are very new to me. These things are very new to me. So I had no idea what I was feeling. So I told Pam and John about this experience. And anyway, the response that I got from them was congratulations, finally. Anyway, so since then, every time there is like a new iAwake product that's up for release, that I've always been a part of I'm so proud. I'm just very happy to be a part of the alpha testers of our team. Um, the alpha testers basically are the ones who decide if these products are good to be beta tested by some 60 group of, I think, our beta testers who actually test this on a daily basis for weeks before providing us feedback if this is a good program or if not, if something needs to be changed with the way the products are being created or something needs to be changed with the way the sounds are being played. So since then, I've been a part of the alpha testing team of iAwake, and it's been an incredible, amazing experience for me just to be able to listen to all of these different tracks and coming from. I mean, back then it was just like Eric was creating all of these tracks for us, and then eventually we expanded into introducing more developers like Lee Spoosta, Doug Prater, Javi Otero, Nadia Lynn, Joe Ko, Jonathan Robinson, and we'll probably miss some. So if some of our developers are also listening, I'm sorry if I missed your name. But anyway, yeah, so there's just a certain shift in experiences every time I've been listening and I know that these experiences from listening to the iAwake tracks tend to be more subjective because it really depends on, I guess, what your intentions are. It also depends on how your body or how your spirit or your soul reacts to these to the sound, to the technology. But to me, there's a certain catharsis to listening to these tracks. So something released in me, and yeah, since then I've been just using iAwake. At least try to listen to iAwake because I'm very lucky enough to have the access to the entire catalog, and so I've been trying my best to listen on a daily basis, and as almost all of you guys know, if you've been a long time WeAwake or just followers of John, that you know that uh, he's an ambassador of practice. So he's gonna tell you to practice every time, and all of these talks are basically centered around it. So at some point it's gonna stick to you, and and there were times when John and I have conversations about, okay, Louis, how was your practice? And I'm gonna be honest with him and tell him I haven't been practicing, and he's gonna say, don't make me come to Manila, uh, and find you to force you or to tell you or yell at you to meditate. So I've been doing my best to practice on a daily basis, and it's been really helpful for me, especially for somebody like me who's suffering from lifelong episodes of depression. And there are certain tapes playing in my head every time that plays all the doubts, all the regrets, the pain, and the trauma. And because of my experience using iAwake technologies and just establishing a practice of meditation, so instead of me avoiding those tapes like a plague, I I welcome them. I welcome them and I tell them, come in, have a sit, have tea or coffee with me, and acknowledge them. So instead of brushing them away, I do my best to acknowledge all of these tapes, all of these experiences, all of these triggers that are happening to me instead of like just trying to brush them away and avoiding the issue altogether or these issues altogether. And I work through them by acknowledging them, and I still don't understand them until this very day. Um, but I try my best on a daily basis to acknowledge all of these states that are playing in my head. Um, Acknowledge them until they slowly dissolve into nothingness. And all the while, as it unfolds, I also have the basically have the capacity to witness this thing that's happening, acknowledgement of it, um, and hopefully working towards understanding them. Uh, Witness those things unfold with a 360-degree view. And it's a revelation. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the most resilient person in the room. I'm probably not. Um, but I'm just glad to have access to these tools, have access, and just basically, it doesn't tell you what you need to do, but it gives you an idea of what you should be doing next. So, anyway, you guys can see right now, if you're watching, um, my background screen or my virtual. So I'm not in this room right now. This is basically just a virtual background that I'm using for this presentation. And this room is actually Pam and John's meditation room in Utah. And this has been a witness, I guess, to some of the most important transformations that happened in my life. Because first of all, when I first started this whole meditation like 6.5 years ago, back in December 2013, it was a very lonely kind of experience. I guess some of us actually started from start from here, right? It's a very lonely experience. And I keep on reading, I keep on asking people about it, but yeah, it's still just basically me being given the tools but not knowing what to do with them. So in this room we're seeing right now is where some of the transformations happen. So in 2014, I was invited by Pam and John to go to the US to live with them for 6 months and basically collaborate together and also explore the lands of Utah where they live. It's just a very beautiful, beautiful place. There's something very sacred about just being in that place, being in this room especially, because I've had a guidance. It's not necessarily a very formal training, but it helps that there are people out there who can actually answer your questions or answer my questions about it. I mean, I've had uh, some very special or precious mystical experiences, especially in this room. Kundalini awakened, out of body experiences, or just basically like just releasing all of the pain. Um, and it's so anyway. The point to this story is, um, it's nice to be also meditating by yourself and just playing awake tracks or whatever practice it is that you're doing. Whether it's like, I don't know, if you're doing TM, if you're doing mindfulness, if you're doing centering prayer and all of those practices, it's very transformative. But there's also something very special, and probably the power of just being in a group setting. Uh, something There's a certain transmission of energy that gets inside of you that's coming from other people, which I find very fascinating. At the same time, I'm very moved by the whole experience. So this is the goal of WeAwake, is for us to be sharing these energies to one another, and not just to be like gathering and watching a YouTube video. But anyway, it's our hope that whenever we're doing this every week, that you can feel the energy that I'm trying to pass on to you, or the people on the screen like JD, Rex, Vanessa, Pam, John, Glenn, or whoever's leading each week's talks, and also each of you who are watching from YouTube or watching from our website, that we're able to be exchange these energies to one another and help us, I guess, get to our whatever goals or visions that we're trying to achieve or intentions that we want to follow through. So, on that end, there's one thing about this whole experience about for the last 6.5 years, or the 7 years overall working with WeAwake Technologies, and this was an article that was written by John, I think back in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And it's one of those articles that I immediately saw when I was working on the back end because we needed to send these emails to all of our customers. And the title of the blog is Meditate Like a Rock. And it resonated with me over the last few years, over the last 7 years. This has been ingrained in me since discovering this article. And I'm going to share a little bit. I'm going to share some clips from this article, and hopefully before we start this meditation, that this message somehow gets ingrained, or I don't know. I hope that everybody takes a message from this. So here goes. Meditate like a rock. When you think about a rock in the wilderness, it's just there. It's probably halfway embedded in the earth. The rains come, the sun shines, the snow falls. There is freezing cold, harsh heat, and bird poop. All this stuff happens, and the rock is just there. As a rock, our meditation is at its deepest level. We've anchored in the self with a big S, or that the Hindus call it Atman. We're anchored in the soul, beyond the soul into the ground being. We're just there. Anything can come along, and we stay solid. We can take on all the storms, all the weather, all the different states we find ourselves in. We can take on compassion and awareness, kindness and curiosity with a rock-like presence in our meditation. So today we're going to be listening to heart wave meditation, which I guess some of you probably already know just by listening or watching this talk, that this is my favorite WeAwake track. This is the very first track that started everything for me, and still my favorite until today. I know we probably released like 70, maybe 50 tracks since then, and I love all of them. But this has still been my favorite. Whenever practice slumps or whenever I find like I hit a wall with my practice, I listen to heart wave meditation, and I just look forward to the wisdom and the experience that it brings me every time. So you probably already own this, or if not, or not yet, but basically in the manual of heart wave meditation, there is a heart-centered meditation, a sacred heart meditation that's available. So what I'd like to do is, before we listen to heart wave meditation track 1 for 20 minutes, I'd like to lead everybody into the sacred heart meditation for the next maybe 9 to 10 minutes. And once this guided meditation ends, the track plays. So I'm hoping that we get the results from both the guided meditation and also the heart wave or the WeAwake soundtrack that we're going to be listening to today. So yeah, here goes. For this meditation, you will want to sit up straight, either on your meditation cushion or a comfortable chair. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your belly to gently expand. Absorb any tension at the top of the inhale and exhale through your nose, allowing all stress to dissolve. Continue your deep, slow breathing and visualize a golden light glowing in your heart, emanating pure, unconditional love. As you breathe in, see this light grow and expand like an ember fueled by air, generating more and more love. As you exhale, feel this love radiating outward to fill every cell of your body. Again, with each inhale, visualize the air blowing on the coal of infinite love within your heart, causing its glow to grow bigger and bigger. As you exhale, radiate that love throughout your body and into your immediate environment. As you inhale, imagine the glowing ember of your heart growing and expanding, along with your capacity to give and receive love. And as you exhale, feel the field of unconditional love and light grow larger and larger as your field expands. With each inhalation and exhalation, visualize your heart's field of unconditional love growing so large that it envelopes your entire brain and body, bringing them under the influence of your heart's infinite wisdom, compassion, and intelligence. You are this love. You are this light. Instead of trying to meditate, simply let this love and light breathe you. Enjoy this loving rhythm for as long as you like. Now that you've established this rhythmic flow within your heart center, let's add some simple but powerful visualizations to each inhalation and exhalation. Inhale and feel the current of spirit circulating in your heart. Exhale and release whatever has kept you from knowing yourself as this spirit. Inhale and allow yourself to be completely filled with unconditional love. Exhale and let go of all resistance and fear. Inhale and allow your mind and brain to come fully under the loving influence of your heart. Exhale and release all pride, fear, shame, and guilt. Inhale and feel the love that is your own abiding nature. Exhale, feeling profound gratitude for love and life. Inhale and allow yourself to open to being unconditionally loved. Exhale and radiate this unconditional love out to the world. Inhale and allow yourself to be a vehicle for this unconditional love. Exhale, and now that you are this love. Now, allow your awareness to focus in the area of your heart and allow yourself to become aware of whatever feeling you may be feeling in the center of your heart at this time. As you allow your awareness to move over so gently toward the center of intensity from which this feeling emanates in your heart, you can repeat quietly to yourself the word unconditional love as your awareness keeps orienting toward the center of intensity of the feeling in your heart. Again, repeat quietly to yourself the word unconditional love. Whatever you may be feeling in your heart at this moment, think it and allow yourself to open up to this feeling as your heart begins to soften more and more. Allow yourself to focus on the feeling, but especially the epicenter of this intensity from which the feeling emanates. Without trying to manipulate or avoid the energy, simply allow your awareness to keep moving closer and closer to the center of the intensity of the feeling. Repeating the phrase unconditional love or any other word or phrase that keeps you centered in love will allow you to stay focused on the center of the intensity of the feeling, as well as gently dissolve this feeling in love. If your attention wanders, gently bring it back to the center of the intensity of the feeling in your heart area, repeating the phrase unconditional love or a similar term to help keep you gently focused on the center of the intensity of the feeling in your heart. You can also practice this throughout the day to be more heart centered in everything you do. For the next several minutes, let this be your meditation. Now, gently place your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your left hand, and allow yourself to feel your heart opening, your capacity to give and receive love opening. Feel yourself being loved, guided, supported, and nurtured. Now imagine that you have a root system attached to your body that goes deep into the earth, and allow all the energy you feel right now to go down deep into that root system. Feel yourself being deeply supported in this love. Feel the eternal love of the mother that deeply adores her child and will do anything to support its well being. Feel the joy of the mother for her child and know that you are loved and supported in this very same way. Bathe in the profound comfort, assurance, and warmth of this unconditional love, and bring the energy back up into your body, grounding this feeling, this consciousness, this love into every cell of your body. Radiate this love to your parents, your children, your teachers, loved ones, and friends. Send this love out to those who are hurting. Send this love out to all of those who might hurt themselves or another. Radiate this love out to your neighborhood, your community, your city, your state, your province, your country, the whole world, to the whole universe. Now radiate this love to yourself, to any physical wounds or ailments you might have. Feel the love going to the parts of your body that need it. If there is any trauma or negative emotional memories from your childhood you'd like to heal, picture yourself at the age at which this trauma took place and radiate this unconditional love, compassion, and acceptance to yourself at this age. Allow yourself to deeply bathe in your younger self in this unconditional love and acceptance. Allow it to soak deep into every cell of your being. As you picture your younger self at the time of the trauma, you are also targeting specific areas in your brain and body in which this trauma has been housed. Feel the emotions and feelings around this trauma begin to soften, open, and dissolve in love. Welcome these wounds. Dissolve them in love. As we end this meditation, you may continue sending this expanding love and compassion to yourself, or for a specific inner healing of trauma, to your friends and family, or to anyone or anything you feel needs your loving attention. Let it be a free will offering. May the world live in happiness and peace. May the whole world live in happiness and peace. Welcome back, everybody. I just had a thought during the practice. Uh, that there's something just poetic about anyway heart wave meditation's presence in my life. Not just it being like the first iAwake track or first iAwake program that I've truly experienced. But also, I just realized that this was released like a few days or a few weeks before the Mindful Revolution was also featured in the Time magazine. Back then, if you all can still remember, in January 2014, uh, that mindfulness really just took. Anyway, it's like a revolution, basically. It became very popular. And this happened at the same time, like Heartwave was also just a baby. They're just introducing it to the world. And this is also like the track that brought me here basically until today. And I was just thinking, if this product wasn't released, if this product was never created, I probably wouldn't even be, or maybe I'm just exaggerating. Maybe I would be meditating, maybe with something else, or maybe I'm not. But it's always just nice to go back to firsts. Um, so I'd like to close this, I guess, this whole session today with a quote or a passage from Rumi. So if some of you are probably wondering, because we keep on featuring Rumi poems in like the WeAwake page, or you can see them below the description in our YouTube live streaming. And this was the book. I mean, the passages are coming from A Year with Rumi. Oop, I don't know if you guys can actually see. Hold on, let me just change my background for a little bit. Here, it's A Year with Rumi. These were translated by Coleman Barks. So if you guys are interested, this is on Amazon, and this is probably the best Rumi book for me. And Coleman Barks is such a gift. Um, anyway, so I'm reading a passage for today's session, August 19th, and it's called uh, More Range. We are friends with the one who kills us, who gives us to the ocean waves. We love this death, only ignorance says. Put it off a while, day after tomorrow. Do not avoid the knife. This friend only seems fierce, bringing your soul more range, perching your falcon on a cliff of the wind. Jesus on his cross, Allah on his, those absurd executions hold the secret. Cautious cynics claim they know what they are doing every minute and why. Submit to love without thinking, as the sun rose this morning, recklessly extinguishing our star candle minds. So, for some reason, this quote or this poem is very much related to just doing a heart-centered practice today, which again, is so poetic. I guess the universe is just bringing everything together. They just all happen and let us be. So, just a few reminders or a few announcements before we wrap up this call. Um, we recently released In, Out, and Through Volume 1 by Judith Bannington. It's a guided meditation read by Judith Bannington. These are meditations from Anna Weiss, who's a pioneer in meditation and EEG, tracking our brain activities. And the soundtrack was supplied by Lise Pusta. Some of you all know who developed Deep Delta, Deeply Theta, not Strong Medicine, Solar Infusion, and all of just the wonderful Iowa tracks that he shared with us over the years. So it's currently on sale until August 22nd, Saturday. Um, yeah, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, John will be back and leading us again. We miss him so much. And if you don't want to miss other videos from our, because we aside from WeAwake, we also feature other videos like we interview our product developers or just like have conversations in general with people. There's a link at the bottom or below this screen that says subscribe. So click that, and if you want to, also you can also turn on notifications. So if we post some new video, you will be notified every time. And yeah, give Heartwave Meditation some love. You guys can watch this on replay, so you can like share this with your friends, or you can also go to the iAwake app. This track, 20 minutes, track one from Heartwave Meditation is free for the whole week until Tuesday next week. And if you probably own this already, if you don't own this yet, this is gonna be available for 25% off until Tuesday next week. Just use the coupon code uh, WeAwake. And yeah, again, thank you all so much for being with us today. And yeah, please ask your questions in the comments below or send us an email at support@iowaketechnologies.com. Um, thank you and have a great day.